Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our Safety and Security Committee meeting for United Independent School District. We welcome all of our committee members, and this is our virtual meeting that we will be having today. And we have one item on the agenda, but first we're going to have a little order of business here, and we'll call this meeting to order. And then we'll do, we have no public comments on the agenda. We've already gone through our emails, and there are no comments on this. And Mr. Ricardo Rangel, take attendance, just verify that the committee members are on.
How we know yes, good morning to everybody. I know we haven't met for quite a while, so I'm gonna go over the attendance that we had last meeting, and then any new members or any members who are here subbing for someone else, if you could wait till the end and then just let us know who you're subbing for, or if you're new to the committee, or you will be replacing someone to the committee. So I'm gonna start off with Mr. Ramiro Levis, UISD Board President. If you could just unmute your mic and just say here. UISD Board Secretary, Mr. Ricardo Rick Rodriguez.
Here.
UISD Superintendent, Mr. Roberto J. Santos.
Here.
United ISD Police Chief, Ray Garner. Here. Mr. Aaron Salazar, UISD Captain. UISD Police Captain, are you available? Sergeant for UISD PD, David Saldivar. UISD Director for Risk Management, Ofelia Dominguez.
Here.
UISD Specialist, Mr. Roman Garcia.
Here.
Myself, I'm here. UISD Safety Officer, Emma Cavazos.
She's here. Just didn't mute.
UISD Classroom Representing Teacher, UISD Teacher, Mr. David Perez.
Here.
And Ms. Jennifer Escamilla, United ISD Teacher.
Here.
United ISD Parent, Mr. Donald Hale. Laredo Police Department Chief, Mr. Claudio Trevino. Laredo Police Department, Mr. Joey Baeza.
Benito Martinez keeps logging on here.
City of Laredo, let's get this one. Will County Sheriff, Mr. Martin Cuellar.
A representative.
Or any representative for Webb County Sheriff's Department or office. Webb County Constable, Mr. Miguel Mike Villarreal, or any representative for his office. Webb County Constable, Mr. Harold DeValley, or any representative for his office. Captain Game Warden, Captain John Palacios, or anybody representing his office. Captain for Department of Public PPS, Mr. Victor Sotelo, or anybody representing his office. United ISD Director for Grants Administration is Dr. Edith Landick. Anybody representing the FBI, and on my list I have Mr. Agent Jorge Hernandez and Agent Eduardo Leal. And anybody else that I did not call, if you could please let us know that you are here representing in the department you're representing.
Chief Gardner and David Saldivar are on the line. They already responded, just for the record.
Anybody else who is here, once again, please let us know who you are representing if you were not called earlier.
I see Juan nomás, Juan Cruz.
Oh, sure, Juan Cruz.
Thank everyone for taking the time to join us.
Mr. Benito Martinez, I see that you're on the line with us. Can you tell us the organization you're representing?
Morning. This is Assistant Chief Manuel Maciel with Laredo PD. It's myself and Captain Benito Martinez from Laredo PD.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and try to keep this as brief as possible. We know that your time is precious in that sense. And so we are going to review our back to school, return to school protocols with the COVID issues that we are currently facing. And I just want our safety committee to make sure that they understand what we are having in place to assist in protecting our students, our employees, and all our stakeholders who actually come into our school grounds. And so that was important. And there's a lot of misinformation that's going on there. As per the city last, I guess, order that they had with regards to COVID, we had to submit our plan for re-entry into the city health authorities for approval. It is still currently under review, but I just wanted to cover some of the basic information on our return to school protocols and to clarify some of the misinformation that is out in our community. So go ahead and start. We do have some action levels. At the very top in the red section, you will see that in our school system, all of our campuses, all of our departments, everybody who enters into our premises must have a face covering, and it applies at all levels, whether it be level 1, 2, or 3. We're currently at the orange level, which is level 3, which is a significant level. When we get to level 4, that is a substantial level, and that is probably what happened in March till May of last year when the governor shut down our schools. In all situations as well, students and staff are required to self-screen daily. Every time before they come into school, before they come into work, that is a symptom checklist that they would have to do. There is an app for the teacher who is in our audience, Mrs. Camilla, that allows individuals to download this app, and it's a tracking system that allows the individual at the campus or department to facilitate who is showing the symptoms and so forth, and that way it allows for the tracing of a potential COVID case. In addition to that, you look at who was at your school building that particular day and so forth, all right? So that was important. We do temperature checks. Those are required. We have had some employees who have said, I don't want my temperature checked on my forehead. I want it somewhere else. Our temperature checks are for the forehead. If you do not allow us to take your temperature before coming in, anybody, then you don't come into our school buildings, all right? And that's across the board for students and staff, employees, and visitors, anybody who comes in. And of course, we are asking all students and staff who are sick not to come to work, not to come to school. Next page, please. Our reopening timeline from August 14th, our teachers started last Friday, to the 21st, they have professional development, which is this Friday. And teachers report to work by designated dates and times. For the most part, a lot of the instruction or a lot of the sessions that are being held for teachers are through virtual distance learning. The ones who are on campus are your paraprofessionals, your custodial staff, and they are there to assist with the distribution of Chromebooks, instructional packets, and so forth. Our first day of remote instruction begins August 24th. And I do want to clarify for the committee who's here in attendance that the state allows our school system to go completely online with a big exception. And that exception is that in the state of Texas, during the first 4 to 8 weeks, that if a parent comes before us and says, I don't have a device, I do not have internet services, then I want my child to go to school day one. Even though we have offered, they have denied our services because they want their children to go to school on day one. We are ready to serve a small number of students who have indicated that they will be showing to school on August 24th, which is Monday. Our transition timeline, though, this is for all the parents. About a month ago, we did a survey. We surveyed we had close to 40,000 individuals who responded to the survey. And we asked, do you want on-campus instruction or do you want remote instruction? And 87% of our parents said, I want at-home instruction. So you're looking at about 4,400 students who would want on-campus instruction. The numbers have changed since then because our cases continue to rise. And so we have to establish a transition plan. We did petition the state for a waiver. We got it approved for an 8-week transition. So starting on September 28th, we will start bringing in 25% of our most at-risk students. So we are looking at the possibility of bringing in our special ed students first, all right, because those are considered more at risk. And then every week we will add 25% until October 19th. We have 100% of the parents who have requested. However, the misinformation that is being sent out there is that we're going to bring all 43,000 students back into our school system, and that is not true. Those parents who choose or have chosen to stay at home for on-campus at-home instruction have the opportunity to do so for the entire school year, as of today. All right, I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Going to our health protocols in our school system. Next slide, please. Again, we mentioned that everybody will be required a daily self-screening before they come into school. Students have to self-screen. Parents have to self-screen their young children as well. Next slide. And this is what we ask them. Have you been diagnosed with COVID? In the last 24 hours, have you had any of the following symptoms? And I'm sure you all have seen these across our city as you all maybe utilize them at your workplace and so forth. Have you been in close contact with someone who has COVID-19? And we define close contact. That is somebody who's exposed to infectious secretions. I mean, you're coughed on, somebody was talking to you, you're 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. So 15 minutes or more, that would determine close contact with an individual. And have you had close contact with someone that is pending lab confirmation for COVID-19? And all of those cases, those are reportable cases. We've already trained our administrators to talk to their teachers, their employees. These are all reasons to probably send the employees and the individuals and our students home as well. Next one. We're promoting social distancing, so we're saying no more than 10 students in a classroom because that's how many we can probably accommodate. Of course, depends on the size of the room. We're trying to maintain that 6-foot distance. Students will always wear masks. In that sense, we have asked, people have asked if they could just wear the shield. No, you have to wear the shield and the mask. All right, the shield cannot be worn alone. And of course, we have some videos and some tips for parents and posters and our students how to properly wear a mask. Don't leave your nose hanging out. All right, next one. We have temperature checks, as I mentioned. We have processes and procedures for student walkers, students who self-drive at the high school, student car riders, those who get dropped off with their parents. And of course, we have procedures also for our bus riders. Next one. Our school day operations. We have enhanced cleaning protocols at the campuses. Our custodial staff has their to-do list, and our teachers and everybody at the campus actually can assist. So we've been telling everybody, high-touch areas, those are going to be cleaned as frequently as possible. No sharing of pens. The copier machine, you don't spray it down, but we have some wipes that we wipe down after we share equipment and so forth. So we've been training our individual campuses and custodial staff, and actually all of the individuals who are working to step up on the cleaning protocols at each of our campuses. Next one. Again, we're telling our teachers, because some individual students have, actually everybody, they may have some reactions to different types of chemicals, so we only provide and only use the chemicals and the disinfectants that are provided by the district that are approved to be used. If an individual wants to use a Clorox wipe or so forth, they're to do so on when they're alone in their classroom. All right, basically, so we don't have a reaction from somebody in that particular class, in that particular area. In addition to that, we have bought disinfecting machines, which take a special solution. Every campus has one. They are to be utilized as instructed by the Custodial Services Department. Next slide. And what our school day looks like. So you look at arrival, transition periods, and dismissals. Again, face coverings are worn throughout. We have multiple entry points. Of course, that changes. If there's only 20 kids going to one particular campus, then we stagger the schedules or so forth. But when you're gonna have, United High School, who's projected to have about 400, Then we have different entry points. If I have an entry point for my students who are gonna get dropped off, I have another entry point for my students who are going to drive themselves to school. I have another entry point for my employees, so that way there is no crossing of any individuals. During transition times, for the most part, teachers are the ones that are going to transition into the different classrooms. However, if the need be that students will transition, they are to wear their masks during the transition period. And I assure everybody in this committee that you will not see what you saw in Georgia week 1, when there was a mass number of students in a hallway without masks. We will require that, and when their transition period would start, we are doing them in a staggered manner so that we don't have a lot of individuals crossing in the hallways, right? Dismissal time, again, we have multiple dismissal exit points and staggered schedules. And of course, our paraprofessional staff will assist all our young ones who need to go to their designated areas, whether they be car riders or bus riders and so forth. Again, our largest campus that we are seeing is maybe about 120 students at an elementary school. And we think that this is a manageable number that we can monitor and transition our students as they exit. Next one, please. Visitors to campuses, all right, everything is through appointments. So gone are the days when it was a free-for-all and everybody can come into our school buildings. Everything has to be set by appointments. So the only people who would come in are those individuals, like if your child is sick, then of course we would have to bring them and allow them to come in, but they follow our same protocols. We do symptom checks, we do temperature checks of everybody. We have no outside delivery services other than just our own UISD personnel who goes in, whether it be the mailroom, our internal pony system or so forth. Outside, of course, it's just the US Post Office and maybe FedEx and so forth. Same protocols that we would like to follow. It stays in the receptionist area. They do not move from there. We have stopped the food deliveries, individuals coming into the schools because there's a lot of individuals that they come in contact with. So we're asking our students and our staff members, prepare, plan for your own lunch and so forth. In addition to that, it's not just food deliveries that are not being allowed anymore, it's any type of delivery. So we are also stopping floral shops and any other gifts that are gonna come into the school system just to avoid the traffic. And we just hope that the message out here is, you know, you don't have to celebrate at school, send them to the individual's house. You know, that's the message. You can still get your flowers delivered at home. We look at library services and we have suspended mixed classroom activities in the library. However, everything's on a checkout basis with our teachers, and individuals that do check out, we keep the books in a bin for a week and then they get reshelved so that they can go back into circulation by another group of students, all right? We look at the next slide, our cafeteria protocols. We have designated seating, the previous one. We go back into our designated seating areas in some cases because, and I just hope that everybody understands the committee, is why can't kids eat in the classroom? Sometimes it's difficult because state statute has not been waived where our teachers have to have a 30-minute duty-free lunch. And so teachers usually eat when the students eat. And so I can't keep teachers in the classroom to take care of the students in that sense because they're entitled to a duty-free lunch as well. And so we are designating seating for the students all on one side of the table with 6-foot distancing measures. And so we will move on that. The only time that they will take off their masks, they sanitize their hands, they will take off their masks only when they eat and everybody walks out. And it's a very controlled type of environment. You're not gonna have 400 students eating all at one time. It's by grade level and it is using social distancing measures as well. We continue with our grab and go meals at our different sites. Actually, every single one of our schools will be a grab and go for breakfast and lunch from the hours of 7 to 8:30 a.m. Parents with multiple children go to the school in their closest to their neighborhood. And the difference is that now we have to account for these students. And so everybody will be given an enrollment letter verifying enrollment with United ISD. So I cannot serve a Laredo ISD parent and give them a meal anymore like we did in the summer. everything has to be RUISD and accounted for. So we'll have letters with barcodes for our parents for their children to pick up the meals. Next slide. Our main lobby areas, they're kind of shut down because we don't want any congregating there other than just if you're there to pick up your child, if they're doctor's appointment or so forth, if they happen to be on-campus instruction. We have security stations. The person in charge of that station will monitor the symptoms and the temperature checks of any individual who comes in after the bell rings. Our stairwells, our elevators are marked as well with one-ways in some instances, and our elevators are limited to people at a time at different corners of the elevator. Next one. Our conference and training rooms, they're closed for now. So we're encouraging our mobile virtual meetings to be held with everyone. Our bathrooms, we're going to practice social distancing for the most part of their stalls. You don't have to shut down a different stall, but we are practicing the social distancing measures as well. Next slide. Our lounges, in some cases, since we're saying no lunch deliveries, we are limiting at least one person per table to sit in those particular lounges. We are also allowing our teachers or our employees to eat at their workstations, so long as it is a work hour, you know. And however, we're saying if you're at the front and you're the receptionist, don't eat your lunch at the front desk. You know, find a place, find an empty room or so forth where you can go and take your 30 minutes because you're still receiving people who are there, and it should be a duty-free lunch. Next one. Shared areas, again, those particular areas, we're looking at trying to limit those with regards to the receptionist areas and so forth. We spray those down. We follow our protocols and our procedures. Our water fountains are open. We're not shutting those down, but we are encouraging everybody to bring their own bottle, a reusable bottle, to fill that up so that you can stay away from putting your mouth close to the water fountain. And shared equipment is wiped down at every time that somebody changes that use. We're not allowing social activities, so we're not having baby showers or any type of things at our schools because that is a large group area. PE, we're trying to make sure that our coaches understand, for the most part, kids need a break and hopefully take them outside where they can run free without a mask. But practicing social distance, limit equipment usage. It's just a lot of free play that they will be using and monitoring and supervising. Okay. Our fine arts building and our athletic programs, we don't know yet what UIL is going to rule. We're waiting for additional guidance from them. For right now, what our band directors and our athletic coaches are doing is they're having virtual workout sessions with our athletes and virtual instrument, I guess, music classes for our students as well. We do have protocols for home visits as well, and for the most part, you don't enter the home. Everything is conducted outside at a distance. Our after school adventures program, which serves our elementary students, that has been suspended until further notice. But however, I do want to communicate to everyone that we are having several virtual camps. They start actually Monday. And so that's been a very popular, I guess, these popular sessions with our parents. We have everything from guitar, virtual canoeing, you name it, we're gonna have it, art classes and so forth. So that's something a little different for our students to be able to participate in different types of activities. Okay. We have limited in-district travel. We have suspended out-of-district travel, and our work schedules, we have allowed our each campus or every department to be flexible in those work schedules and given them the authority to schedule the individuals so long as they work that work day complete. In our district vehicles, we ask that our individuals do not sit shoulder to shoulder, and they wear masks when in district vehicles with others. And if you can, open the windows for circulation. Right, is that it? Right, we must continue with our standard response protocols. So we must have drills if our students are on campus. Fire drills are still going to be held. We're still held to those. And we also have to have our threat assessments and the lockdown drills as well. Right, I'm gonna fly through these, our instructional models. These are our practices that we'll be using when our students who do come into on-campus instruction will be utilizing. Again, it gets a little repetitive in that sense because it's sanitized, wear your mask, social distance. They're responsible for their own chair, but it goes into great detail for our teachers. It tells them, you know, you're not going to pass out papers. You're going to keep them at a desk, and everybody drops them off in some particular area. You're not going to decorate your rooms fully because if we have to go in and sanitize, your decorations are going to be wet. So it's very minimal requirements that we're asking of our teachers to do with regards to classroom decor. Right, this is a big one, and I want you all to know that you may see some students, you know, maybe initially not a lot of students going into school, but the second grading period you may see more, or vice versa. And so the state is saying this: parents may choose to change a student's model of instruction from remote to on-campus or vice versa only at the end of a grading period. Elementary, middle schools have a 6-week grading period. High schools have a 9-week grading period. And so they can change that mode of instruction. I can't, and this is what I'm hearing, parents don't have anybody to care for the child for the first 6 weeks, so they're gonna go to school. But I have somebody else to care for them for the second 6 weeks. So they're gonna stay home with grandma or grandpa. And so that's kind of what's going on. In addition to that, I'd like for y'all to know that if the local health authority, if we have, what they're saying right now is 2 or more cases of a COVID outbreak at a campus or in a wing, this is why we're telling everybody, do not put all of your students who are gonna go in one wing. Separate, segregate, because if we have to shut down a 10th grade area, but it's not impacting 11th or 12th grade, then I only shut down the 10th grade, unless they all rode the bus together. Which is a whole other area to review. But students who are on campus and we shut you down, you go to remote instruction. You don't go to another campus, and that's what people need to understand, that if there is a COVID outbreak at that school, we just shut down for a period of 5 to 10 days. Right, we've talked about the classroom setting already and our special education students. We have provided additional PPE for our teachers in the classrooms in self-contained units because these students may sometimes not be accustomed to wearing a mask. And so our teachers are getting shields, they're getting gloves, they're getting additional masks, and they're also getting a garment that can be worn over their clothes. They're getting 2 pieces of that so that they can wash and the following day wear the clean one. And that's on every single day for our students, our employees who are in self-contained classrooms. Right? What do we do if we have a case or various cases of COVID-19 or exposure to somebody who has COVID-19? We have our protocols in place. And so we review those, and human resources is a contact information for the contact department for all of the employee-related COVID cases. And then we also have a student team that is reviewing. They will work in coordination together because for the most part, if you have a student case, it's going to involve employees. And so we coordinate together to do the contact tracing, to do the communication, and so forth with the individuals. We can skip all of these. These are our slides with regards to how to respond to students, how to respond to employees as well. And all of our manuals, our protocol manual is on our website, and Mr. Rangel will review the website that has been revamped to for easier accessibility to our information that is needed for you all.
So all our return to school protocols are on our main website. If you go to uisd.net, there is a tab that says return to school protocols, and you click on that tab. This sub-website separates the information for administration, staff, and parents. And of course, our information for parents is one of our most popular hits there. It really just goes into detail as to what information is for parents and what parents can expect from us, and what their students can expect from us as well at their campuses district-wide. So all that information is there on our website. It's public. Yes, for the record, I do want to say that I saw Mr. Velis come in to the meeting, so I'm going to go ahead and mark him present. Again, anybody else who joined, please let us know. Unmute yourself and let us know. But yes, that is basically an overview of what we have there for our students, for our parents, our students, and our staff in regards to return to school protocols. These are changing constantly. I can tell you just yesterday we had about 5 different updates to our handbook, and those updates are outlined every time we do an update. So I can just show you here. If we go to our handbook full text, every time we make an update, we add a little yellow box that says when it was updated. And I'm going to show you here, right here. So there, like for example, this right here was revised on August 14th, 2020. So every time there's a little update, we add a little revision, and parents and staff members, anybody knows that that was revised. But yes, this is basically where all our protocols are and where you can find them. Now I guess we open it up to see if anybody has any feedback for us. I know your feedback is very important to us, and anything that you let us know here, we can go ahead and look into it, and any recommendations that you have right now, time to go ahead and do so.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Rangel and all the other individuals listening in. I want to thank Mrs. Rendon, yourself, all the staff for the thorough presentation. I know there's a lot of information. You guys have been really proactive on your part, trying to come up with all the different situations that might occur. Obviously, the board's thinking is, or what we would like is for all students to be remote instruction. However, we do have to provide the option as the state has mandated. So we just want to stress to the public and obviously our staff that these are adhering to the actual protocols that the state is at this time mandating. However, as you have just mentioned, they have been changing constantly. So at any time, they might come back in and just say, you know what, we're going to go full remote. So again, just to stress to the public, to our staff, that obviously we're going to be really adaptable to the state and their guidelines. And just to remind them that we did already approve for the additional 4 weeks to go for that full 8-week instructional period to be remote, and obviously with the opportunity to have your students be in the classroom. But obviously, we're trying to see if we can have that 8-week time frame extended for more time. So just stress that out and put it out there so the parents, our staff is aware of what the board is thinking and what we're hoping for. So obviously, it's difficult times for everybody. It's going to be a brand new start to the year, something that's brand new to everybody. So we're trying to do as best as possible, and you guys are doing a great job on your part. So again, thank you very much, Ms. Rendon, Mr. Rangel, and the other staff that has been fundamental to this presentation and all the information being gathered and then put into this document that I see in this other computer that I have here. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
Anybody else would like to
Any
chime
feedback,
in?
anything
Any
that we're
feedback?
missing?
All right.
Move for adjournment. I'd like to thank you again for your time in just viewing. And if you have any comments, you can email me at grendon@uisd.net, and I can try to respond to those particular comments that you may have. And we'll keep you in the loop as to hopefully this protocol manual would be approved by our city, and get that information back to you. And we'll schedule another meeting with you all shortly. Thank you again. Have a great afternoon.